Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Nosacapital coming to you on a rather cold evening for the Southern Hemisphere. Please forgive my voice if I sound a bit nasal. I've got a bit of a cold, a blocked nose actually. So please bear with me if I don't sound as clear as possible, but I'll try. Okay, so this evening we're going to be looking at Bitcoin, just Bitcoin alone. Now, I did a rough and ready crypto analysis the other day and told you that we should expect a minimum of 10,000. And a couple of people got in touch with me and said, so what's the next thing? What's going to happen next? What should we expect? Okay. So here it is. And it's not going to be a long video, but I think you enjoyed this one. Now, looking at the screen, you all know the volume profile is here. We've got an areas of demand 1, 2, and 3. There are 2 here that have overlapped, so this makes it quite strong. Now, the circles that you see here, this blue, green, yellow, the orange one, all that red, all these colors, they're all areas of leverage. Now, this blue one is 25%, 25 times leverage. This is 50 times leverage, and this is 100 times leverage. This one here is 100 times leverage, but going long, whereas up here is going short. So that's why they're different colors, so we know which one is which. But anyway, the most important thing to remember is that market makers and others have been tracking areas of leverage. And always remember that when you have traders taking positions, at different price levels, these areas are and taking leverage, of course. This means that these areas of leverage soon add up and could easily make it attractive for a market maker. Now, you can see that these circles here, these are some medium-sized ones, and there's some large ones here. And then you've got the smaller ones. Just by looking at the different sizes, that tells you the amount of how much people are clamoring for that particular area. So what do I mean? The larger ones here tell you that there's a lot of leverage activity going on there. The medium size, these ones here, also tell you there's a lot of leverage activity. But again, judge everything by its size. This is far more activity here than here. And the same is here. Now, before we go on, let's just quickly go to the daily, just for a moment. Now, if you look at the daily chart here, you remember that at this level up here, the all-time high, there was some level of resistance. People were coming up, not even getting close and going back. And the reason was that area was an area of supply. So the last set of people selling or sort of preventing any major, when I say preventing, I don't mean that they are trying to block it. It's just that before it gets anywhere near that, this was a supply area. Therefore, as soon as it was in that range, people started selling. And as soon as that's selling, the price comes down. But notice it has broken through that price. And if you look, if I do that, you find that there's almost nothing going on at this level, almost no leverage whatsoever, which means that this particular candle here for today is free to go up as high as it wants to go. But we don't see much. As you can see the circles here. There are also these areas of leverage. We can see them, but we don't see what's happening afterwards. And one of the reasons why I was so confident about the 10,000 was that one there. You see, there's a little bit of this in here. There's a little bit of leverage here. There's a much bigger one on the small. I'll go down to the lower time frame and you see it in a minute, where I was sure that it was going to break through there, and that's why I was very confident that okay, we're going to get 110,000 for Bitcoin. So if you go down to the 5-hour, where we can now begin to see, and the same thing. Let's go to the 4-hour as well. You can see that you can see areas of leverage. You can see that, and you can see it's literally the same at the 4 and 5-hour. So, but we'll stick to the 5 hours since that's where we are now. We can see that there's also strong volume momentum here. This is just to tell you how much volume. This is not like a RSI or stochastic. No, it's just telling you how much volume momentum is there. That's all this one does. So there's nothing too much to say. The lighter the green histograms are, the more leverage, but there's still some, and strong enough. And if you look at here, we've got a sort of smallish Maribotsu type candle there. Now, if you look here, you can see this candle. This is a 50 times leverage at 113,000. I posit that the next area to be taken out is this. It's going to be taken out. I suspect that we'll take this out at 113. So I believe that you're looking at about $113,400, $113,500, a new all-time high for Bitcoin. But it's got to get to this level, and I think it will. I think there's enough momentum to get it there. Now, the question is, what happens next? If it hits this, don't be surprised to find Bitcoin coming down, maybe quite rapidly. Now, if you look here, there's a 100 times leverage here on, some people here are going long, and if you look at it here, that's at about 104, going to between 104, 105 here. Do not be surprised to see Bitcoin take out the 113, come all the way back down, take out this, and then go back up. It's not going to be, you should not be surprised. Why is that? Because if you look at it here, there's confluence between this amount of leverage and the point of control. As you can see, the point of control on a volume profile simply tells you the highest amount of activity going on, price activity going on in a particular instrument, and of course in this case is Bitcoin. So do not be surprised to see the price come back here, take out this bit of leverage here, and then go back up. Not surprising at all if it happens. Now, could it happen? Yes. Could it even fall lower? Yes. You never know with markets. I mean, if you look here under the 102, you find that there are clusters of leverage, albeit small. But remember, all these little clusters also add up to a higher amount of leverage over time. So please bear that in mind. But I can't see Bitcoin really falling to some ridiculous, except something really ridiculous happens before we see any of that. Maybe a war or something, who knows? We'll see. Hopefully there won't be any. But it's going to take something like that to happen to see any major fall in the price of Bitcoin. So, as I said earlier, I expect this price level to go up to about 113. Now, anything after, if it starts to go up after that, it could essentially go up. Now, anything after that, ladies and gentlemen, I couldn't possibly, just a minute, I couldn't possibly say, because you just never know with these things. I'm looking for a particular tool. Oh, here we are, the path. That's what I was looking for. So don't be surprised you see go something like that, and then and that, and don't be surprised you see something like that happen. Don't be surprised. But what happens if you look at this area here? You see that there's not much volume to tell you what's going to take place after this area here, this weak high here, which is already hit several times. So do not be surprised. Do not be surprised if it comes back. There's a bit of a retracement. Now, could it get all the way back to 105? Not necessarily, but it could. Ladies and gentlemen, you've known Bitcoin to $4, $5, $6, even $7,000 at a time. Don't ever rule that out. Is it possible? Yes. Do I think it will probably do that? Yeah, probably. But when, I couldn't possibly tell you. Now, as for the time frame of getting to 113, it could be overnight or it could be by the weekend. I expect a lot of activity, Bitcoin activity goes on during the weekend. I expect that something could happen. Secondly, the price of Bitcoin, as you can see, is $111,762, almost $12,000. And it almost hit $12,000 area at $111,980. So don't be surprised it hits 12,000. If it hits 12,000, then 13,000 is on the cards, and I believe that this area will be taken out. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. So that's me, ladies and gentlemen. So as always, keep your eyes and ears open and your trading sharp. Have a good one.